So this is the iPhone 16 Pro Max and arguably one of the best phones on the market, facing off today against the Xiaomi 15 Ultra in a speed test comparison. So what is up guys, Nick here helping you to master your technology, and let's go ahead and begin with a boot up test in 3, 2, go and see which one can get there first. Now, keep in mind, even though the 15 Ultra is targeted more towards pro photography and things of that sort, it's also a beast when it comes to the chip. It has an 8 Elite chipset, 16 gigabytes of RAM. It does have a 512 gigabyte ROM. It also has Xiaomi's Hyper OS. In addition to that, it does have one of the newer Adreno 830 GPUs, and it does turn on faster than the iPhone. It also does have itself a gaming mode, gaming turbo mode, and customizable animation. So I do think it's a fair assessment to go ahead and compare it to against the Apple A18 chip, 8 gigabytes of RAM, and iOS 18.3.1 over here. So for the first round, the Xiaomi did go ahead and win that out versus the iPhone 16 Pro Max. All right, so when it comes to unlocking these phones, of course, with the iPhone 16 Pro Max, all you simply need to do is go ahead and kind of take a look at its Face ID from basically any angle, really, and it tends to do a really good job. So that sensor on there is very, very fantastic. It also works pretty well in dark lighting conditions. Now, this one does have Face Unlock as well, but you're going to find it through the camera. You also have a customizable ultrasonic fingerprint sensor, which is very fast. Even with the screen off, you can go ahead and hit that. But yeah, you can actually customize the animation to how that unlocks. We're not going to show that here. This is not a review, but you do see very, very fast. I would argue that the 15 Ultra is a little bit faster to actually get into the phone versus the 16 Pro Max. When it comes to the software, we do have HyperOS 2.0.9.0. You'll also see right there, we do have Android 15. This is a skinned version. You're going to see 18.3.1 over there. Now, generally just kind of scrolling through these phones, they both tend to be very smooth as they're both adaptive refresh rates. So both of them playing at the flagship level. And both of them are very, very good at scrolling. I will say that the 15 Ultra in the app drawer feels a little bit smoother than App Library for some reason. I don't know. It just feels like 60 hertz to me in App Library for the iPhone. But over here, just kind of going through, everything looks really good, very smooth. And then also over here, pretty nice as well. So on this side, if we scroll through, you'll see you can pull down to the right. You can get to your quick controls over here to the left. Basically very similar to notifications on iOS. So essentially, there's not much in it. Both of these are basically like the same type of performance on the home screen. I will say though that when we get into the app test, keep in mind that they do have different animations a little bit, but the Xiaomi can give you kind of a different take on the animations as well. So if you go to animations, click animation speed, you'll see you have the options to go between fast, balanced, and relaxed. So we're going to go ahead and put that animation on relaxed because I feel like that's where iOS tends to operate, so I want them pretty even. I'm also going to turn on the performance mode because this phone does have a performance mode right here to give it its max performance. iOS kind of runs on its max performance already. All right, so let's go ahead and begin with calendar. And you can see faster on the left. That was quicker on the iPhone. We'll go into clock. And that was faster on the right. So if we go to world clock here on both, how about stopwatches and timers? Pretty similar. If we swipe out, you'll also notice the animation looks about the same as well. Let's go into calculator. And that was the Xiaomi 15 Ultra. Let's go over here to, you know what? Actually, the Xiaomi 15 Ultra tends to give you a little bit more of a fast animation, even with the relaxed mode on though. All right, so let's get back into the test. Let's go into weather here. And that was quicker on the right. You can see that this is going to give you some information down here, and then you'll see some information down here. This one I think looks a little cleaner because it stays blue. Then we have these white backgrounds, which to me doesn't look as nice. Let's go into news. And you can see this is a Google app, so it's probably going to do a little bit better on Android phones like the 15 Ultra on the right. Let's go over here to technology. We're seeing confirmations for GTA 6. That's going to take the world by storm later this year. Are you excited? Let me know down below. But kind of just scrolling, you can see both do a pretty good job. I have found that if you don't turn on the full 120 hertz for the 15 Ultra, it can get a little jumpy with its adaptive refresh. So I didn't like that. The adaptive refresh needs some work on the 15 Ultra. You have to put it in 120 to get the smoothest effect. Let's go into App Store, Play Store. It's almost as if it didn't know to stay in 120 sometimes. That's what I found in my review. Let's go into apps here. And 15 Ultra slightly faster on the right. Both of them kind of scroll at about the same speeds. Let's swipe up out of there. We'll head into X. And you can see that was faster on the right. Twitter tends to perform better on Android devices. You'll see right there. Did I say Twitter? X, sorry. I'm so used to back in the day being called Twitter. Let's go over here to True Tone and get that off because I'm noticing my screen's looking a little bit yellow over there. So let's swipe up out of there. All right, so let's go ahead and check out Instagram now. And you'll see over here, I think it was the 15 Ultra. Now the iPhone got a little hair on the table. I don't know where that came from. Let's go over here to this post right here. And as we scroll through, you'll see typical Android being faster to scroll and then the iPhone kind of slowing it down a bit. Not a massive difference there. Let's go ahead and swipe about. Man, the striking similarities between not only this phone, but like other Android phones as well this year and iOS is just insane. All right, so let's go ahead and head into Amazon now on both. And you'll see that was faster on the right. If we swipe out, we'll go into YouTube and we're gonna head over here to trending. Now that was faster on the right and tending to kind of just move along a little quicker here on the 15 Ultra. Let's swipe out and we'll go into Groupon. And that was faster on the right. I've seen the 15 Ultra tending to take more of these so far. So yeah, this is probably a quicker phone, or at least feeling anyway, a quicker feeling phone anyway. But that's not surprising. I mean, the OnePlus 13 felt a little faster than the 16 Pro Max, as did the S25 Ultra. I think even the S24 Ultra in some cases felt faster. So you'll see right there, it did load Subway Surfers quicker on the right. And let's go into Jetpack Joyride. Just another basic game. You can see we do have the game turbo mode kicking on. And game modes are available on iOS as well. And that was faster again on the 15 Ultra. In the real world, you don't really notice this if you're not comparing them side by side. But if you do come from an iOS product over to an Android product, you know, Samsung, OnePlus, this product right here, they kind of tend to feel a little bit zippier, if you will. Just a little bit zippier with the animations, kind of going through apps day to day, but generally the iPhone tends to have, to me, more polished applications. Let's go over here. Not on the mainstream ones. The mainstream stuff that was also faster here to connect. Not on the mainstream stuff, but you know, certain apps are just better made, and you'll find some apps you won't even find on each platform. So there's certain developers that only develop for one side and not for the other, or one side over here and not for this side. So it really just depends on what you're using on your phone. And you've seen right there, slightly quicker to the Ultra, but that could have been just my finger. Let's go ahead and hit Race the Sun. And we'll see what's faster here. I do think that Game Turbo is helping this phone. Game mode launches over here. That was first to the right. Once we're in the game though, both of them are pretty good with heat management, although the iPhone's slightly worse. In my experience, these Android phones tend to put better heat sinks and better management of heat on these products. So I found this one to get a little bit hotter under the gaming experience. Set up out of here. We'll go into Real Racing 3. And I am shocked how good this 15 Ultra is performing by comparison. It's just, look at this. Like, it's really reminding me, maybe this will be a good test against a OnePlus 13. That phone was kind of similar to this in terms of the smooth factor. That would probably be a good test. We'll see how it does next to the S25 Ultra as well. Which one is the true Ultra phone? And that was so much faster on the right. Let's head up out of there. We'll go into Free Fire. This is just really strange. It's kind of like throwing me for a loop because I was so used to all the years of seeing these Android phones just get demolished by the iPhone, but things have changed. They really have. So we were already loading into the match while waiting for the iPhone to load. So that was pretty slow on my 16 Pro Max. Let's go over here to Call of Duty and see if things change up here. Again, this could be happening because I did turn on performance mode. I'm glad I turned it on because we could see what its true capabilities are here on the right. And iPhone here, definitely Definitely a good performer, but is it going to catch this phone on the right? We'll see which one takes the win. Nope. It looks like we were ready to launch into a match right here on the right. That was a pretty good margin. You've seen that. Like, I could have pressed start, already been basically in Nuketown already before this one got to the home screen. So it's pretty good. Let's go into 3D Mark. So this 8 Elite, the 8 Elite club is no joke. This is the club you want to be in when it comes to the chipset if you want the best power. It really is. Swipe up out of there. We'll go into Geekbench 6 and you'll see, I think that was the iPhone. Let's go into Speed Test Net. And that was the right, and LumaFusion's not on this one. So wrapping it up, I do think the Xiaomi 15 Ultra won this battle. You've seen, again, I do have performance mode on, but it did win this battle. It won most of the apps, and while they are relaxed animations I do have on to kind of match up with this, you can tweak those, plus it was still faster even with relaxed animations. The games launched faster on pretty much every game as well. So the app test, I'm calling it to the Xiaomi 15 Ultra on this battle. But that doesn't mean it's all bad news for the 16 Pro Max. We do have really, really good RAM management, very polished software, and way better update support, along with smoother feeling edges. I do think it's an easier to hold phone over here, but 8 gigabytes of RAM, I don't know if that's going to take down the 16 GBs on the right. But one area that you will definitely appreciate the 15 Ultra on the right is going to be its camera versatility. That camera, while it is a huge bump, it's actually sitting up here on like an angle because it's so large. While that camera is a huge bump, it is giving you 1-inch type sensor. So it is pretty cool stuff right there. Let's go ahead and get into focus and let's try out the Xiaomi 15 Ultra. And look at this. Pretty nice. We do got to slide again there. That was like spinning in the game. So this is not looking as smooth when coming out of these apps. So automatically, I'm going to give this round to the iPhone. While it is holding everything, we have to do like 2 slides to get out of there. So I'm not a fan of that. Let me know if there's a way to go ahead and turn that off for the Xiaomi 15 Ultra, but so far it doesn't look as smooth. Well, I wouldn't say smooth, but not as fast going back between these, especially on the landscape apps. It just slowed us down, but it did hold everything in the background, and it also has the ability to have floating windows while playing a game. If you put this over here, you can kind of like bring in an application on the right. You can actually close it out as well or bring it to the side view. So there is ways to take advantage of its RAM with multitasking split screen. So just hold down an application. You can split like this. You can bring 2 apps in and drag them up top or bottom. So there is more advantage being taken of this large screen and of the RAM. But definitely it didn't look as smooth. So that round's going to the iPhone. All right, so here are the Geekbench scores, and you could see pretty close on the single, but the iPhone's still taking the lead, 3383 over 2903. But if you look at the multi-core, the 15 Ultra has taken the win. We have 8804 versus 8286. So when we start pushing the phone to its limits with the performance mode, the Xiaomi 15 Ultra should be a little bit faster than the Apple iPhone 16 Pro Max. Let me know your thoughts down below. They're going to say, well, that benchmark is an Apple benchmark. So let's go ahead and see how much of a difference we can find on the Wildlife Extreme benchmark, which is going to test the graphical performance. We're also going to see the frame rates and things of that sort. So I'll be back in just a second. All right, guys. So here are our final Wildlife Extreme scores, and 4597 is getting crushed by the Xiaomi 15 Ultra at 5622. I wasn't expecting over 1,000 points better, but it is. Only 6 FPS though, so that's not even massive. So I don't think you're going to see a huge difference in gaming. This device is, according to this benchmark, scoring better than 88% on the market. This one better than 96%. So the iPad Pro with the M4 would beat this phone, but this phone in this benchmark is pretty easily beating the iPhone 16 Pro Max. So this is a faster phone overall, I think, than the 16 Pro Max, according to not only one, but 2 benchmarks, one saying higher multi-core, with the iPhone likely to give you better general performance day to day with that single core. So what that means is certain apps might be a little bit slower to launch. occasionally on the 15 Ultra, and some of them might be a little bit more jittery. That's what I have experienced. But other than that, when you push them, this one is having more power on the right. Let's go ahead and take a look at a quick speedtest.net. We'll start over here to see what this one can pull in. Hopefully we get better download speeds today. And I'll go ahead and get this one on the same server. And we're at 226 down right now. So that's pretty good. Let's go ahead and take a look here. Upload is absolutely terrible. So only one on the upload. Man, how am I going to upload this video? I might have to go ahead and use my 5G to upload because that is ridiculous. Let's go ahead and take a look at this one over here. And you'll see 300 and almost 4. Oh, wow. This one pulling in. So maybe a better Wi-Fi speed on this phone as well. And Apple does have their C1 modem now in the iPhone 16e. So maybe they're going to upgrade their Wi-Fi through their own chips that they're trying to control the whole phone. So we'll see how the connectivity stuff goes. But yeah, the iPhone got crushed here in this quick speed test net. It is on the same server, so I wonder why that is. Maybe this phone just has a little bit better connectivity. I'm not sure. Let me know down below. And as always, let me go ahead and wrap this up. We're going to go ahead and do a photo. Let's bring in the OnePlus 13 as a sample here. So we'll use that phone right there as a quick sample shot. Let's go ahead and hit this right here. 3, 2, go. And that was easily the iPhone. The iPhone is one of the faster launching cameras and shutter speeds in the business. Let's go ahead and click that again. And the iPhone is a faster camera. Is it better? That's debatable depending on the type of photography you want to do. Let's go ahead and hit camera. But the Xiaomi is definitely a lot more camera focused. So you might find a lot more higher crispy Leica-like photos on here. In addition, much more zoom and much more versatility. But if you like the way iPhone pictures and videos look comparatively to, maybe over sharpened, some would say, this might still be a better choice for you. This also has a dedicated camera button, whereas this phone over here, you can actually buy a camera grip to go with a case. So there is good options for camera and photography for both. But at the end of this speed test, I got to call it what it is. I think the 15 Ultra took the win. It definitely did. This is a fast phone regardless if the back looks like we just stuck a lens straight on there. So this was a fun performance test. Pretty surprising. Well, not surprising, but pretty nice results here on the right. And I would like to see, Apple really step it up with the A19 or whatever they're going to call it chip this year. They need to outdo these 8 elite phones this year because they have taken back the crown in speed. The OnePlus 13 beat this phone. The S25 Ultra beat this phone. And now this phone beat this phone. So it's time for Apple to come back striking with another faster chip. Thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you haven't already. And I'll catch you all in the next episode. Let me know your thoughts, which you would pick down below in the comments. Nick here. Be sure to be well and peace.